What will we be doing in this video?
Today we will be talking about the iPhone 6s and how it holds up in 2020.
That's absolutely right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us get started. It is hard to believe that it's been 5 whole years almost since Apple released the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus back in 2015. I remember this having the freshest technology, the most modern advancements, and if you had one of these phones, you were the cool guy. But not so much anymore. A lot of the technologies have been replaced. For instance, Face ID is completely taken over where Touch ID once dominated. The notch has replaced the bezels, and the home button is pretty near extinct at this point. But does that mean it's a bad phone? Not at all. I've dealt with phones that haven't aged near as much as the iPhone 6s to this day, and typing was an issue, but not on the 6s. The A9 chip is still able and very capable of opening apps with ease, even if they're closed. As you can see here, I'm doing that with the calendar, the photos, and the camera application. Which, by the way, I am shooting this video on an iPhone 6s camera just to give you an idea of what it's like. Here's an example of a photo that I took on the rear-facing camera of the iPhone 6s. And in a moment you will see one from the front-facing camera as well. This isn't here to impress you. It is simply here, like a lot of things on the 6s, to get the job done. And that's exactly what the RAM does. The RAM is able, as this thing comes equipped with 2 gigabytes, to make sure you're not waiting all day on lag, even though this is considered an older phone. It won't keep you waiting around all day with lag. It's not the best, but it gets the job done. Another way that this phone does get the job done is in video. Now the display, as you can see at this point, is not going to wow you away by any stretch of the imagination. And there are many, many better and much more dynamic displays that are top-notch high quality. But I do like one thing in particular about the 6S, and that is the aspect ratio. It can fit perfectly on its screen a 16:9 video ratio, which is the most common if you're watching like a YouTube video, or really any video for that matter, in landscape mode. And I do like the fact that it fits it nicely and perfectly rather than having the edges or black bars. Another area or realm where it's decent is in gaming. Now, I wouldn't necessarily buy this phone for the sole purpose of gaming, but it does hold it up pretty well. I am now running, as you can see, Taxi Sim 2020 made by Ovalex Software, and this is some advanced simulation, I will admit. It takes a more advanced phone to run this, but it still holds it up pretty well as I'm playing it on ultra graphics and the highest resolution that there is in the settings. So I wouldn't say that this is necessarily a gaming phone, but it can hold it up pretty well. Here are some specs for you to see on the iPhone 6s. It has 64 gigabytes, the one that I'm using it does anyway. It is a space gray model, and it has a 4.7-inch screen. As I have mentioned, it has the A9 Bionic chip with 2 gigs of RAM. Not an impressive spec in today's realm, but at the same time it gets the job done. Now the battery is what I want to focus on. As you can see here, the battery health is unavailable to me right now. It can't display it because I have replaced it. It came originally with a 1715 milliamp hour battery, and I was using 84% battery health of that. But now I upgraded it to a 2600. Here, I'll show you all the apps that I have installed on here, just to give you an idea how it worked. But I have done a couple days of battery test where I unplugged it in the morning, and I went with it all day. And I was very shocked, I was able to get a full day battery out of the phone, out of the iPhone 6s in 2020. I never thought I'd be saying this, but I was able to get a decent battery life out of this phone. In the morning, I did a lot of texting, YouTube videos. Throughout the day, I believe I listened to about an hour and a half of podcasting, as well as uploading videos, sending videos via text, watching YouTube, and daily tasks like that. Siri works fine on this phone also, just so you know. Okay, so why hasn't the iPhone 6s really aged as fast? Why hasn't it fallen behind in its software updates? I mean, this is still quite a commonly used phone, and a lot of people still use it. Obviously, I do. And it's still getting supported, as far as we know, up to iOS 14, and maybe a year more. it's kind of doubtful. The future could be shaky on that, but still, that's quite a long time to be supported with updates. I think Apple was really ready to make a phone that was ready to face the future, and it was really the first one to do that. The iPhone 6s started. Usually, iPhones last about 5 years on software updates. They're supported constantly with new updates for about 5 years, and this was really the start of that. This was the first phone to be able to do that, and I think that Apple really did push on improvements. The A9 chip is much more advanced than the A8 chip before it, and maybe that was what made the difference. I don't know, but what they did was a great job, and the iPhone 6s is high on my list of top rated phones. I know it's about ready to be done with updates and support, but still, it's a great phone, and no phone lasts forever. Every phone eventually goes. So I appreciate you watching this, ladies and gentlemen, my review, my take on the iPhone 6s. If you did enjoy it, please do hit the like button for my work. And if you want to get more premium first class content just like this in the tech world, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, so that way you get notified and you can be the first one to find out whenever I post a new video. Other than that, I will see you next time. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.